Hi, I am Dr. Bivas Giri. I am a professor of the Department of Mathematics, Jadavpur University, Kolkata. I will teach you the course Operations Research. Operations Research is a science which deals with real-life problems, its formulation and solutions, and finally, appropriate decision making. This subject is relatively new. During World War II, military management called on scientists from different disciplines. They asked to solve the strategic and tactical problems of military operations. Scientists then worked together in a team and they suggested a few techniques or approaches that showed remarkable achievements. The approach of systematic and scientific study of operations of the system was called operations research. Following World War II, this success story attracted attention of several business managers who were seeking solution of their complex business problems. However, during 1950, operation research got recognition as a subject worthy for academic study in universities. Since then, this subject has been gaining more and more importance for the students of management, economics, social science, mathematics, and engineering. Today, this subject has become a professional discipline which deals with application of mathematical methods for decision making, especially to the allocations of scarce resources. The whole course will be covered in 10 chapters, and each chapter there will be some modules. So let us start with chapter 1, which is on linear programming problem. Linear programming or LP is a popular tool for solving optimization problems of a special kind. Since the development of simplex algorithm in 1947, LP has been used to solve optimization problem in various industries such as banking, education, forestry, management, and so on. The most common problem in these industries involves allocation of limited resources to competing activities in the best possible way. Real world situations where LP can be used are thus diverse, ranging from allocation of production facilities to products to allocation of national resources to domestic needs, from portfolio selection to the selection of shipping patterns and so on. The whole course or whole content of this chapter will be covered in 5 modules. So let us start with the first module of chapter 1. Let us first define what an LPP is. An LPP or linear programming problem is an optimization problem which has 3 basic characteristics. First one is the objective function which is to be maximized or minimized must be linear. The second one is that the values of decision variables must satisfy a set of constraints where each constraint must be a linear equation or linear inequality. And the third one is that a sign restriction must be associated with each decision variable. If a decision variable can only assume non-negative values, then we use the sign restriction xi is greater than equal to 0. If a variable xi can assume positive, negative or 0 values, then we say that xi is unrestricted in sign. A general linear programming problem can be written mathematically as shown in the slide. Maximize or minimize the objective function Z is equal to C1x1 plus C2x2 plus dot 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 plus Cn xn, subject to m constraints which are of less than equal to or greater than equal to type, and decision variables x1, x2 dot 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 up to xn are non-negative. The problem can be written in compact form as maximize or minimize z equal to summation j equal to 1 to up to n Cj Xj, where Cj's are referred to as cost coefficients, subject to summation j equal to 1 to up to n Aij Xj, which is less than equal to or greater than equal to Bi, I equal to 1 to up to m, and Xj greater than equal to 0, j equal to 1 to up to n. Here Aij represents the amount of ith resource consumed for unit variable Xj, and Bi is the total availability of the ith resource. Now, two basic concepts of linear programming problems are feasible region and optimal solutions. Feasible region of an LPP is the set of points that satisfy all the constraints as well as sign restrictions, whereas an optimal solution of an LPP is a point in the feasible region with the largest value of the objective function in case of a maximization problem and the smallest value of the objective function in case of a minimization problem. We now take an example to show you how a problem can be formulated as an LPP. An oil company has two refineries, refinery A and refinery B. Refinery A is capable of producing 20 barrels of petrol and 25 barrels of diesel per day, whereas refinery B is capable of producing 40 barrels of petrol and 20 barrels of diesel per day. The company requires at least 1000 barrels of petrol and at least 800 barrels of diesel. So, if the cost of operation of the refinery A is 300 per day and the cost for the operation of refinery B is rupees 500 per day, then how many days should each refinery be operated by the company so as to minimize the cost? To formulate this problem as an LPP, let us suppose that refineries A and B are to be operated for x1 and x2 days respectively. Our objective is to minimize the total cost z equal to 300 x1 plus 500 x2. The total amount of petrol produced is 20 x1 plus 40 x2 barrels, which should be greater than equal to 1000 barrels. Similarly, the total amount of diesel produced is 25 x1 plus 20 x2, which should be greater than equal to 800. Hence, our linear programming model is minimize z is equal to 300 x1 plus 500 x2 subject to 20 x1 plus 40 x2 is greater than equal to 1000, 25 x1 plus 20 x2 is greater than equal to 800, x1 x2 greater than equal to 0. Let us now define some basic terminologies for LP solution. First one is convex set. A set is said to be convex if and only if for any 2 points on the set, the line segment joining these 2 points lies entirely in the set. Mathematically, a set S is said to be convex if for all xy belonging to S, lambda x plus 1 minus lambda into y must be belonging to S for all values of lambda lying between 0 and 1. For example, consider the set S of all points xy such that 3x plus 2y is less than or equal to 12. Then it can be shown that this set is convex. For x1, y1 and x2, y2 belonging to S, it can be shown that lambda x1, y1 plus 1 minus lambda x2, y2 belonging to S for all lambda belonging to 0 and 1. Whereas, if we consider the set S of all points xy such that x square plus y square is greater than or equal to 16, then this set is not convex. There are points 40 and 04 which are belonging to the set S, but lambda into 40 plus 1 minus lambda into 04 does not belong to S for lambda equal to half. Convex polygon. Before I define convex polygon, let me define half plane and closed half plane. A linear inequality in two variables is known as a half plane. The corresponding equality or the line is known as the boundary of the half plane. The half plane along with its boundary is called closed half plane. A convex polygon is a convex set formed by the intersection of a finite number of closed half planes. Extreme points. Extreme points of a convex polygon are the points of intersection of the lines bounding the feasible region. Feasible solution. Any non-negative solution which satisfies all the constraints is known as feasible solution of the problem. Basic solution. If we consider a set of n linear equations in n variables where n is greater than m, then a solution obtained by setting n minus m variables equal to 0 and solving m equations with the remaining m variables called a basic solution. These m variables are called basic variables and n minus m variables are called non-basic variables. Basic feasible solution. A basic solution which is feasible is called a basic feasible solution. A basic feasible solution is called degenerate if the value of at least one basic variable is 0, and non-degenerate if the values of all basic variables are non-zero and positive. Optimal basic feasible solution. A basic feasible solution is called optimal if it optimizes, that is, maximizes or minimizes the objective function. Unbounded solution. An LPP is said to have unbounded solution if its solution can be made infinitely large without violating any of the constraints. We would like to discuss some important results. A hyperplane is a convex set. A hyperplane in Rn is a set of all points x belonging to Rn such that Cx equal to z for C belongs to Rn and Z belongs to R. Consider the hyperplane S as a set of all points x such that Cx equal to z. Let x1 and x2 be two points in S. Then x1 and x2 must satisfy the relation Cx equal to z. Therefore, we have Cx1 equal to z and Cx2 equal to z. Now, let a point x3 be given by the convex combination of x1 and x2 such that x3 equal to lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda into x2, where lambda lying between 0 and 1. Then Cx3 will be equal to C into lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda into x2, and if we simplify it, we will get lambda Cx1 plus 1 minus lambda into Cx2, and this is again equal to lambda z plus 1 minus lambda into z, as Cx1 equal to z and Cx2 also equal to z, which gives Cx3 equal to z. Therefore, we see that x3 satisfies the relation Cx equal to z. Hence, x3 belongs to the set S. x3 being a convex combination of the 2 points x1 and x2 in S, therefore, S is a convex set. Thus, we prove that a hyperplane is a convex set. Now, we would like to prove another result. Intersection of two convex sets is a convex set. Let S1 and S2 be two convex sets, and S is the intersection of these two sets. Let x1 and x2 be 2 points in S. Since x1, x2 belonging to S1 and S1 is a convex set, therefore, lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda x2 belonging to S1 for 0 less than equal to lambda less than equal to 1. Again, since x1, x2 belonging to S2 and S2 is a convex set, therefore, lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda into x2 also belonging to S2 for 0 less than equal to lambda less than equal to 1. Thus, we see that lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda into x2 belongs to S1 intersection S2, which is equal to S. Hence, S equal to S1 intersection S2 is a convex set. Next, we would like to prove the result. The set of all feasible solutions of an LPP is a convex set. Consider an LPP whose constraints are Ax equal to b, where the non-negativity restrictions are x greater than equal to 0. Let S be the set of feasible solutions of the LPP, and x1, x2 are 2 points belonging to S. Then Ax1 should be equal to b, where x1 is greater than equal to 0, and Ax2 also should be equal to b, where x2 is greater than equal to 0. Let x3 equal to lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda into x2, where lambda takes value between 0 and 1. Then Ax3 will be equal to A into lambda x1 plus 1 minus lambda into x2, which is equal to lambda Ax1 plus 1 minus lambda into Ax2, which is equal to lambda b plus 1 minus lambda into b, that is equal to b. Also, x3 is greater than equal to 0, as x1 is greater than equal to 0, as well as x2 is also greater than equal to 0, and we have 0 less than equal to lambda less than equal to 1. Hence, x3 satisfies all the constraints of the given LPP. Thus, we can claim that x3 is a feasible solution belonging to S. Hence, S is convex. From these results, we note that if an LPP has two feasible solutions, then it has an infinite number of feasible solutions, as any convex combination of these two feasible solutions is a feasible solution. We now proceed to solve an LPP by graphical method. This method is applicable when there are only two decision variables. If the problem has more than two variables, then we use simplex method, which will be discussed in the next module. Let us solve this LPP by graphical method. We first plot the graphs of all constraints by treating them as linear equations. We then use the inequality constraints to mark the feasible region as shown in the shaded region. This shaded region shows the feasible region where we have 4 extreme points A, B, C and D, and for these extreme points the values of the objective functions are also shown as 300, 800, 260 and 240. So, from the values of the objective function we see that the minimum value occurs at the extreme point D. So, the optimal solution of the LPP can be obtained as x1 equal to 6, x2 equal to 12 and the corresponding value of the z equal to 240. It should be noted that for this example we have only one extreme point where the objective function is minimum. So, we get actually a unique optimal solution. In the next example, the figure shows the region which is not feasible. That is why for this problem we are actually getting no feasible solution. Let us now consider an example of LPP which is maximize z equal to 3x1 plus 5x2 subject to x1 plus 2x2 is greater than equal to 10, x1 greater than equal to 5, x2 greater than equal to 10, x1, x2 greater than equal to 0. From the graph as shown in the figure, it is clear that the feasible region is open-ended. Therefore, the value of z can be made infinitely large without violating any of the constraints. Hence, there exists an unbounded solution of the LPP. Here, one thing I would like to mention that unbounded feasible region not always gives unbounded solution. In case of unbounded feasible region, even we can get a finite bounded solution. If we consider this example and we draw the graphs, then the shaded region is the feasible region and this region can be extended towards upwards as much as we can. So, in fact, this region is an unbounded feasible region, but it has a bounded solutions. So, one can check that the bounded solution or finite solution can be obtained at the point 3, 2. So, which gives the maximum value of the objective function as 4. Consider this example, and if we draw the graphs of the constraints considering equality, then shaded region will be the feasible region. And if we find the value of the objective function at the extreme points, we see that the maximum value is obtained at the points B and C. This indicates that the solution of the LPP is not unique. It has an alternative optimal solution. One solution is x1 equal to 0 and x2 equal to 6, and the other solution is x1 equal to 2 and x2 equal to 3. If we have an alternative optimal solution for the problem, then in fact we have an infinite number of optimal solutions, because we can find a solution or we can make a solution for the problem by taking convex combination of these two solutions. We have learned so far in this module what an LPP is and how an LPP can be formulated mathematically, and we have also learned some basic terminologies which are used for LP solutions. Terminologies like convex set, convex polygon, extreme points, feasible solution, basic feasible solution, basic solutions, and so on. We have also solve the problem graphically. It should be noted that an LPP can be solved graphically only when it contains only two variables. If an LPP contains more than two variables, then graphical method cannot be used, and in that case we have to use some other techniques or some other methods. In this model, we have also considered or taken some examples to show that LPP has different forms of solutions like unbounded solution, alternative solution, no feasible solutions or unique solutions. With this, we end this module.